Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear student, honorable guardians, and those who are watching me right now. Assalamu alaikum. I hope all of you are safe and sound. Though we are watching a very hard time due to COVID-19. You are watching online English class. This is Muhammad Anowar Hossain with you, assistant teacher in English, Ulania Coronation High School, Ulania Mehendigonj, Barishal. My dear student, before starting my today's lesson, I want to move to computer screen. Let's move to computer screen and then get started our today's lesson. My dear student, welcome to multimedia class. Let's see a task to guess something. My dear student, here is a text. What's your program after the examination? Asked Kamal. Shiraz said, I haven't decided. Can you suggest any? Let's us go on a picnic, said Kamal. What an excellent idea it is, said Shiraz. Kamal asked Shiraz what his program was after the examination. Shiraz replied that he had not decided and asked if he could suggest any. Kamal proposed to Shiraz that they should go on a picnic. Shiraz exclaimed with joy that it was a very excellent idea. My dear students, what do you mean by the text? Try to guess what the text expresses. Yes, right, you are. Passage narration or speech of narration. So, what will be our today's lesson? My dear students, our today's lesson is passage narration or speech of narrative style. Unit 7, lesson 1. Okay, let's get started our today's lesson. Learning outcomes. After studying this lesson, we will be able to define the style of narrations or a speech, identify special rules of passage narration, and can change passage narration from direct to indirect. My dear student, look at the sentence. The teacher said don't make a noise in the class. Then there is another text. Why don't you attend my classes regularly? The teacher said to the student, you cannot expect good result unless you attend classes as I tell you. I'm sorry, I have offended you. I was ill in those days, said the student. Here we find two types of text. Style of speech of narration. My dear students, do you know how many style of speech or narration? Yes, right, you are. What are they? They are detailed style speech and narrative style speech. Do you know what is detailed style speech or what is narrative style speech? Look, he said, Mother is the best blessing of Allah. Look at this example very carefully. Here there is a reporting verb and a reported speech. So when a speech is described with a single reporting verb and a single reported speech is called a detailed speech. I think you understand what is detailed speech. If the narration has only one reporting verb and one reported speech, that narration is called detailed speech. On the other hand, when a speech is described with more than one reporting verb and reported speech in a passage, it called a speech of narrative style. So In the second example, we see more than one reporting verb as well as more than one reported speech. So Rashid said to Karim, how are you? I went to your hotel yesterday but didn't find you. Where did you go? I went to the station, said Karim. I had to receive my maternal uncle there. This is an example of narrative style. So now we learned what is detailed speech and what is narrative style speech. I said to the boy, will you come to my house tomorrow? Will you come to my house tomorrow? I asked the boy. I asked the boy if he would come to my house the next day. Here are three examples. My dear student, look at the reporting verb of this sentence. Reporting verb is at the beginning of the indirect speech. My dear students, you may find the reporting verb at the beginning or at the end or at the middle of the speech, but you have to remember, while converting a direct speech into indirect speech, you have to write the reporting verb at the beginning of the indirect speech. That means we have to put reporting verb at first in indirect speech. So there are some special words which are normally used in a passage narration. Now how the words are changed while converting a passage narration from direct to indirect. Look very carefully. Here is a chart for you, and in the left side or in direct there are some words, and indirect there are some rules. Please, my dear students, read or learn this chart very carefully, and you will be able to understand some words in passage narration. If indirect, in reported speech, if the word circum, we have to change this word in indirect. In this way, subject plus reporting verb plus respectfully. Respectfully comes instead of sa. And then yes, subject plus replied in the affirmative. Replied in the affirmative will come instead of yes, and if no, subject plus replied in the negative. Thanks, subject plus thank plus object. If you find thanks in any reported speech, we do not need to use a reporting verb. Thanks turn into reporting verb then object. Good morning, good evening, good night. Subject plus wish plus object, then good morning, good evening, good night. Goodbye, subject plus bed plus object plus goodbye. By Allah, God, job, by my life. By this word we mean swear. So if in reported speech we find such word, we have to follow this rule: swearing by Allah, God, job, my life. Okay, subject plus agreed with and object. Hello, hi, subject plus greeted plus object. Then if we find the reporting verb replied, asked, cried, after, matter, we do not need to change this word in indirect speech. So my dear student, now we are going to practice some example following this rule. The student said to the teacher, sir, may I come in? The answer of the sentence will be, the student asked the teacher respectfully if he might go in. Here, respectfully was used instead of sir. The teacher said, yes, come in. The teacher replied in the affirmative that he might go in. Here, replied in the affirmative was used instead of yes. My dear student, look another example. The man said to his friend, "Do you like ice cream?" "No, I don't like ice cream," replied his friend. Here the man asked his friend if he liked ice cream. His friend replied in the negative that he didn't like ice cream. Here, replied in the negative was used instead of no. The man said, "Thanks, it is not good to eat ice cream." The answer of the sentence is the man thanked him and said that it was not good to eat ice cream. Here in this sentence, thanked was used instead of thanks, and we do not use any other reporting verb. Here, thank was used as a reporting verb. Look at the more example. He said to me, "Good morning. Are you well?" He wished me good morning and asked if I was well. Here, we use wished instead of said to, as good morning expresses wishes. He said to me, "Goodbye, be always good." Here, bad is used instead of reporting verb said to, as reported space expresses farewell. He said to me, "By Allah, I will never tell a lie." Swearing by Allah, he told me that he would never tell a lie, as by Allah means a swear. So we use here swearing by Allah. This is another example. He said to me, "Okay, you have told the right." He agreed with me that I had told the right. Here, agreed with plus object was used instead of said to and okay. He said to me, "Hello, how are you?" He greeted me and asked how I was. Here, greeted was used instead of hello and reporting verb said to. He uttered silently, "I don't know it at all." He uttered silently that he did not know it at all. As here, reporting verb is uttered, so in indirect form, reporting verb was not changed. She said to me, "Sabrina, do you like her very much?" Case of address or vocative case. If we find any vocative case in the direct speech, we have to change this vocative case and we have to follow this rule. At first, addressing plus object plus vocative case, and then subject plus verb plus indirect form of reported speech. Here he said to me, "Sabrina, do you like very much?" Addressing me, Sabrina, she asked if I liked her very much. Looked another example. He said to me, "You should follow your elder Sabiha." Then addressing me, Sabiha, he told that I should follow my elders. The child said to his friend, "You can search very well. I am feeling very comfortable. Don't stop. Go on." My dear student, we see here that there are more than one. There are more sentences as a reported speech. So that the child told his friend that he could search very well and added that he was feeling very comfortable. Then he requested not to stop and requested to go on. If you find assertive sentence more than once, you have to use he added that, or he again added that, or he also added that, or further he added that plus indirect form of reported speech. That means if indirect speech we find more than assertive sentence, then we have to use added that or again added that or also added that in the second sentences. And if you find interrogative sentence more than once, you can use he again asked, he also asked, further he asked, but instead of refuting verb, and then in the form of the refuted speech. So my dear student, all of you are suggested to practice this passage narration. Let's practice. Change the following passage into indirect. So here is here is a passage narration for you. All of you are suggested to practice this narration by yourself and then match your answer with my want. Good morning, student, said the teacher. How are you? We are fine, sir. What about you? I am fine too. Please sit down. Have you prepared your lesson? The teacher asked. Sorry, sir, we have not prepared our lesson, they replied. Then, my dear student, here is the answer. Massive answer with this answer. The teacher wished student good morning and asked how they were. The student respectfully replied that they were fine and wanted to know about him. The teacher replied that he was fine too and requested them to sit down. The teacher also asked if they had prepared the lesson. The student respectfully replied that they were sorry and added that they had not prepared their lesson. My dear student, now I will going to give you a home task. Change the following phrases into indirect. My dear student, all of you are suggested to change these pages from direct to indirect and show your note khata to your class teacher when your school will open. Hello, sir. May I ask you a question? Oh, yes, but why? Sir, I could not understand a lesson that you taught in the classroom yesterday. Oh, I see. Okay, if you are free after this period, come to me at the teacher's common room. Thank you, sir, said the student. You are most welcome, my son, said the teacher. So, my dear student, we have already learned about passage narration. So all of you are suggested to practice this lesson at your home. Till then, may Allah bless you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.